guys, I am back on a new episode of the Talkers Talk podcast. Trust me, I am very sorry that um, I was inactive with this podcasting. I had to travel to places, and then I was busy making sure for people, and like time just took over. But I'm back now, and today we got Trash Guardian.
Hi.
Yeah, well, so yeah, we got Trash Guardian on our episode today. So, Trash, my first question that I will ask to you on this podcast is, well, one, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing as well as a guy who's playing Supercard in a hot room is.
Well, now that I asked that question, how did you start pro wrestling?
Um, well, I got started in pro wrestling. I'll give you a little bit of backstory of why I did what I did in the beginning. So I was really into war feds back when I started, and I started my own war
I
group,
think,
I
I
should
think
say.
everyone was like into war feds that time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of out there. You kind of have no choice when you join
Yeah.
Roblox. But still, so yeah, I started my own war group, and I was running around recruiting people. And I was talking to this one guy who I had played Armored Patrol with. His name was Mario Dragon 102, and I was like, "Yo, you want to join this war group I made?" And he was like, "No, but you should join this wrestling group." And I was like, "Okay." So that was how I got into row wrestling. I failed my war group missions.
What was your first fed, Trash?
My first fed was BWW, which for some reason stands for World's Best Wrestlers. Um, as I said, it was run by Mario Dragon 102, who is also somehow the leader of TRC right now. So
Oh, I
that's nice.
remember BWW. I went to that fed on my old account. Um, it was a cool fed. And then you were like the big guy there. Like everyone like looked up to you there. BW was a
Yeah,
pretty cool fed.
BWW was a very trash-oriented fed.
This is true.
I guess it's kind of my fault because I got Mario Dragon kind of into the whole TRC thing accidentally by going on a raid with him to TRC, and then he just started neglecting BWW. He was like, "You're co-chairman, you run things," and I'm just sitting there like, "Okay."
So then, how did BWW end?
Well, after a while, I started realizing, this guy's making money off of me being in a place, and I figure that that should stop. So, a little storylining with the NWO happened because I'm so very original, and we just all up and up left the Fed.
Yeah. So right now you are retired, and
Yeah.
you retired. You had your retirement match in EPW, where you defend.
I
Tell me about why would you, out of all the fights that you would retire and leave your legacy at in the ring, why would it be at EPW, Elite Pro Wrestling?
EPW is run by my good buddy Chunk Skater, and at the time I was doing a lot of stuff there. Like that was I don't remember other feds I was in. I was probably in like WPW at the time, and I was doing just kind of random other stuff for other feds. But EPW was when I was spending the most time in, so I decided like they're doing their WrestleMania thing soon. I should retire then because I had gotten sick of the whole thing. Um, this is like probably the second time that I've done my whole retirement thing. So yeah, even when my partner Dragon Boy Dylan didn't show up, I was like, this isn't going to stop me. I've set a goal for
Yeah, yeah,
myself.
yeah. So what happened was, you were booked. You and Dragon Boy Dylan, who was a good friend of mine. You guys formed the Euro Russian Express tag team, and then you guys were, I think, number one contenders for the tag team championship. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then after that, it was WrestleMania time. I think you guys were like the first match, and then Dragon didn't show up, and then you decided to face Kink and Huffy in a handicap match for the tag team titles. So Did you think that you would win that match, and were you like trying to win that?
Well, I mean, the ultimate goal was probably to win the tag match, and it's kind of a shame that Dragon didn't show up because I think that might have been a little bit of my fault because I was really pushing for us to be the first match so I could just get the whole thing over with. And so what happened was Kink and Kay were just kind of dancing around in the ring, so I came out and I had to improvise a little promo about what I was doing out there and why my partner wasn't there. So I got out there, and Kay decided to go AFK during the middle of the match or something, and I killed him. But Kink got me, and it was pretty sad. So I just did my whole retirement thing. So that was fun.
Yeah, yeah. When you retired, the whole arena was just like B B B B B.
That's not my fault.
Because lots of people look up to you in the wrestling industry. Some young talents and stuff. Because you're like,
Yeah,
because you're like one of like those veterans.
Yeah, some of my favorite things to do in like my spare time, I like to go to those low card feds that nobody knows about. I'm like, hey, I make audio, guys. What's up?
um, so now we've all heard about this stable called Communist Uprising. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they went to TNX. They're good. They're nice in that Fed. Then they went to PWH. Then they went to REW, and they're doing good jobs right now. What's your opinion on them?
Um, so I'm just gonna put it out there that I am a former member of that
Whoa, whoa,
stable.
whoa, whoa! Is this a?
I know it's so shocking.
Yeah, it is.
I'm I'm retired, but I'm not.
Why did you join the communist uprising?
So back when I was running my second Fed, MWA, my brother would sometimes show up, and his gimmick was Communist Vlad, and I would give him like 5 minute promos just at the end of the show just to do strange communist things, and I was like, if he had a faction, that would be pretty
Yeah.
good. So I came up with the idea to get a couple people and make the faction, and that didn't last very long. So I was talking to Broy on Skype a while ago, and he was trying to make a stable for Feds. I was like, hey, it'd be fun? Let's bring back that faction
Yeah,
thing.
you brought the
And he was like,
communist. Um, alright, can you tell us which communist you were?
I was Communist
Ah,
Dimitri.
ah, Communist Dimitri.
That's a name that I stole from YouTube in the Rushing Dancing Men shorts.
So now that you are, excuse me, retired trash. What's your now you are with RWC? Is it GM or I think or something like that?
I am the co-chairman for
Yes.
RWC.
And I guess that's your biggest interest right now, correct?
Yeah, I recruited pretty much everybody in that federation. I go to every show. I help Marion doing his storylining and whatnot, and I deal with people who are just in the crowd. I usually just talk to people.
Uh, so are do you think RWC will go far? Because it did have it did have like a run, like a small run in 2013 or 14, I think.
I think this time RWC is way better officiated. We have a lot of cool new stuff and new people, and who knows? The best could happen, or we could be another MWA.
Do you think the communists will like come to RWC? I think they actually came to RWC before. Then they left or something.
Well, I have 2 points on that, and the first one is yes, they did show up a little bit. It sprang up here and there, usually not all at the
Yeah.
same time. And the second thing I have to add to that is I was at Pro Wrestling Syndicate by Blazing Creations today,
Yeah, they had the
and
PWS Mania.
Yeah, I went there. I had a good time. What I was talking to Broy and was like, "Oh, by the way, I ended the communist thing." I was like, "What? Why?" Although I kind of can see why, because one of the reasons I left was because like, nobody was taking the faction seriously.
This, oh, I mean, I don't really know what happens in that faction because I'm not in it. But I think all of them, including you as a bunch, was amazing. Uh, Alexander, I think, yeah, Alexander, Teb, Boris. I think it was Andre, Communist Andre. You guys were like a great stable, and then you added two more people.
Yeah, we had another member, Anton, and he got kicked out. I don't know why. I wouldn't have kicked him out, but Broy was like, "We're gonna need new members," and he said, let's get someone." And I almost said his name. I'm totally not revealing people on this podcast right now. Uh, so he brought in this unspecified new person, and he was a pretty good addition. I'll give him that. I saw him compete a little bit, and then he brought in somebody else, and that was essentially when the entire thing was just I can't deal with this anymore.
I think before, where you guys were like talking together at a show, he was like, "Oh, six is enough."
Yeah, 6 went off and proceeds to add
Yeah.
more people.
So I mean, so I guess the communists are gone out of the window. They're just out, just gone.
Yeah, I guess that's the way it
Wow.
went.
I thought
Oh
they had a good
well.
run there. I think Roy won REW Money in the Bank too, coming as Boris. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I wasn't there because I'm lazy.
Uh, yeah. I was I think like three TNX shows, and then there was like never a Dimitri there, and but then you would like always like come in time just to go for like the promos.
Yeah, I did some pretty good
Speaking
promos.
of the promos,
One of
those were some mean promos.
I'm not a good person. Like the first promo I did in PWH was about bombings in Japan in World War II. I mean, like why? Why do I have these ideas?
Oh my god. I think everyone just hated you for that.
That was kind of the goal
Yeah, I
of the
mean, it was like
promo,
until he.
and it worked. Woohoo!
uh, one of your issues right now is pro feds. Because apparently they host shows too late.
Yeah, one of the reasons I never went to ProFeds was just because they weren't hosting on a good time slot for me. Like I like I am supposed to not do anything beyond the aspect of 10 o'clock, but I do anyway because I'm so rebellious, and uh, so yeah, I that's a contributing factor to why I never really went into pro
Uh,
federations.
uh. Do you think if you went to the pro feds that you would be like something like a it factor?
Well, I don't know. I've been thinking about like coming out of retirement because I'm so original and maybe going to like TNX or RWE or something.
Uh, uh, uh. Now your other concern in pro wrestling now is now I mean sorry now apart from RWC you do cool YouTube shorts. Yeah, so what inspired you to do those?
A while ago, I had that very YouTube, TrashGuardian, and I ran my first fed, which was Roblox Monday Night Raw, and what I would do is I would set up WWE parody shows, and I would do like 4 or 5 matches, and I stopped that after like 2 years because it just dwindled in roster size. I had like 3 people coming to shows, and that was barely enough. And overall, it wasn't just a very good program. So I decided to start making shorts, and then that got boring after a while. So I didn't do a lot of YouTube after that. And then I was like, you know what I want to do? I kind of want to bring back my YouTube. So I've been making YouTube
Yeah, and
videos for
now
a
you made
while.
like your own YouTube fed called IFWL.
I don't know about you, but I hear silence. Uh oh.
uh, well, my
Did the Skype call rip? Uh oh.
my favorite character in IFWL, who is like your your own, which is in your own YouTube fed IFWL, has to be Canada. Has to. It has to. It has to.
Canada's made very few
Yeah,
appearances, but you
yeah.
know,
He just debuted and like murdered King Huff Ambrose for like the third time.
yeah, Huff Ambrose is that accident-prone guy, isn't
Yeah,
he nice?
yeah. His promos are her. I his promos are a tad better than Roman Reigns' promo, so I'll give him that. I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
That was the goal.
So now that you're retired and like you've pretty much done lots of stuff in pro wrestling, who do you think has a bright future in wrestling in your opinion?
Well, you know, like I said, I run around to low card feds and I like to hang out there, so I get to see a lot of that kind of talent. And even in RWC, I see a lot of people who would probably go unrecognized. Like, for instance, my good buddy Granite. He's a pretty good row wrestler, and I have fought him before, and he is a doozy of a wrestler. And so I don't know if he. I think he might have been in RWU before, but I have no idea. Let me think here. I know there are other people. Um,
There are lots of people who could like like get like there's a lot of people who have bright futures in wrestling. They just don't they just don't do anything about it.
yeah, there are a lot of people like that, like me.
This is true. This is true.
I am a washed up person. How sad.
uh, will there ever be you to come out of retirement?
Um, I've been doing some matches for our friends' feds, so I might come out of retirement, and like I said earlier, I might go to a pro fed just to like see if I can make it big there. I don't know.
Yeah, I there could be a return though.
There could be. We could see Trashev winning that RWU title. You don't know.
Uh, so if is there like what do you think? What do you find very very annoying in wrestling?
Oh, you know, I find a lot of things annoying about row wrestling. I've gone so far as to make a comic about everything that's wrong with row wrestling. Um, I used to have a list of everything that I thought was bad, but you know, I something that caused me to quit my old COO job back
Yeah,
at EPW was just everybody was spamming
this is
for
so
everything.
true. I
It was
agree. I was a former GM in EPW, and there was tons of spammers, tons, man. Everyone would spam exclamation mark help, exclamation mark help, and it was so annoying.
yeah.
I can name like 8 spammers who just don't know how to like they don't know what I'm going through when I'm hosting a show. I mean, even King Coffee spams so much, and he owns a Fed. It's like it's.
Yeah,
Man, I don't even know. I don't even know.
it's a real struggle
Yeah,
running a
yeah.
federation, really.
Uh, One thing I find really dull in wrestling is heat. You know, heat between someone, like the tension. I mean, having a rival,
Yeah.
having a rival with someone on Roblox and it's scripted is one thing, but then there's that guy who just takes it too far, and then invites you to this like thing they do now. Skype, like they invite you to like this Skype thing, and then do like this roast session on you, and it's so annoying. Like that's what they do now.
Well, I've never had that.
Yeah, that's
Hmm?
what they do now. These roast sessions.
Wow, I haven't heard about this until now. That's
Yeah,
pretty rough.
I've been invited to like a few too.
Wow, that's great.
Uh, let's see, Trash. What is your most memorable moments in wrestling?
Well, I think back, back in BWW, my goal was to hold every championship at some point or another, and I did do that. Um, I think probably my most memorable times I've had were when I was beating up Zutista.
Oh, Zutista, Zudis,
Because
Fedora Pandora.
yes, my favorite pastime is making him look bad.
I guess that can be like a new hobby, eh?
Yeah. Except now he's quitting, so I have nobody to annoy.
That's I'm always here.
Oh yeah, I'll annoy you even in this Skype chat now. Don't worry, I'm already talking too loud apparently.
Well, I guess we pretty much talked about everything that we had to discuss today. Yeah,
I guess that's so.
I kind of have decided to cut my podcast short because they used to be at like a 40 minutes, a 50 minute mark, and people found that boring. So then I had to cut it down to like 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything else you would like to add to the podcast, well, before we go off air?
I like toilet
Me too.
plungers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's trash, everyone. I'll see you guys later. You guys have a great day. Thank you for listening. And yeah, see ya. Thank you, Trash, for coming, man. Yeah, I
You're
hope to have you
welcome.
on my podcast soon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. Peace. And again, so yeah, that's the end of my podcast episode. And again, I'm sorry for being very inactive. Shows. I traveled. I had to make sure people saw stuff like that. I was very busy, but don't worry, I'll be very active now. And yeah, so you guys can have a nice day, and thank you for watching this Talkers Talk podcast episode 3.